Today I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about my ideas about how objects and indirect objects work together when it comes to permissions and privacy, and maybe a slight change or addition to the ORCA process that we might want to consider. This is going out to all of the cohortions, to the mentors, to Sophia, and anyone else that's interested in contributing a little bit of feedback and critique about what I am proposing here and what works and what doesn't work about it. Because let's be clear, I don't think this is fully the right answer, but I think I'm onto something here, and I would love to know what you all think about it. This all came about because I was in the SPMC office hours today, and Sophia and I had a 30-minute conversation around this question. I'll read it to you. Second attempt at the question. The real question is, how do you model object-relative roles where the object in question is not the direct object, but is rather the indirect object? And I'll go through the assumptions here below. I think it'll make more sense below. But the idea here is that when we have object relative roles, they sit on the object. However, sometimes the indirect object comes in, and I don't know how to model that, or at least I didn't know how to model that, and I've got a proposal how to model that today. Sophia likes to use a little bit of a restaurant analogy around this to talk about privacy and permissions, because the closer we can bring this back to real life, the better. So I'll read this using your restaurant analogy here. Let's say that I am a sous chef and I'm working in a restaurant. I cook and put out a plate of food to be served. If I am not happy with the food as a sous chef, I can throw it away. I am the creator. I can say, this is not good. This plate of food, this is that's the object. I'm going to throw it away. If the head chef isn't happy with the food, she can throw it away. So the head chef comes in, takes a look at what I did, said, no, this isn't good. They throw it away. I have an object relative role as the creator of the food. I can throw it away. The admin across all of the objects can throw it away. This is the interesting one. If the guest at the table it's being served to isn't happy with the food, they can throw it away, the table guest. Also, maybe if other people at the table looking at the food say, I don't think that's a really good piece, good plate of food, maybe you should send it back, i.e. throw it away, maybe you can do that. So in this metaphor, the food is the comment, that is the direct object, and the table is, I says the post. So we'll get into the idea of like post and comment here in a second. In the end, this is the important part. In the end, I still need to know what table the food is going to in order to know who could throw it out. That's the point here. So the way that this looks in my very poor, or not poor, but incomplete object relative roles kind of CTA matrix here is I've got roles. System role is user and admin. There's an object relative role, which I put as post owner. And I have the delete. So the comments can be deleted by the admin. The comment can be deleted by the user, their own comments. Or the post owner. So someone who did not write the comment at all, but it's on their post, can also delete the comment. Now, as it turns out, comments and articles is an interesting case, but there's a much more interesting case, which we'll get to in a second. So we spent 30 minutes trying to model this out. Sophia did a great job doing the best she could with the limited time that she had here. And we kind of ended here, and I said, I am going to think about this, and this is the result of those thoughts, and I'm hoping that you can contribute to it. Okay. So the left-hand case is the case we just talked about. It kind of makes sense. There is a right-hand case that I think is much more powerful, and we'll talk about that in a second. So let's go through this one. An admin is a system-level role. They can presumably do lots of different things to the objects. There is an article object and a comment object, and you can start seeing that the roles are in white, and they've got dotted lines here. So the object relative role on article that is going to be important here is this article creator. And we have comment creator. That's the object relative role that's important here. So the idea here is that an article has 0 to n comments, and a comment has 1 article. So the comment creator can go in, add a comment, and imagine that there is a third role, a comment editor. So this is neither someone that created the article nor created the comment, but their job is to go and flag comments that don't make sense. Maybe they can't delete them, but they can flag them. I didn't put flag in here, I put just delete. But imagine that a comment creator can delete it, but a comment editor can flag it. An article creator can delete it, but they can't flag it. Let's just say that that's true, okay? So the comment editor has a very specific CTA that is flag. And actually, let me just put it in here. So create makes perfect sense that the comment creator can create this. Delete, yes, if I made the comment, I can delete it. If I'm the article owner or creator, I can delete it. The flag, though, is only for the comment editor. The problem here is that this role, comment editor, is not an object level role. It's a relationship level role. And we have no way of modeling relationship level roles, but I have a pitch for how to do that below, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. If this one seems a little weird because you're like, I don't know, who's this idea of that's comment editor? Is it completely reasonable to say that flag comment would only exist with this one person? Let me give you another case, which I think we talked a little bit about in office hours, but I want to expand on. So imagine that we are in Spotify or YouTube Music or Tidal, and we have the idea of a playlist and the idea of a song. An admin can manage all of these things. We're going to forget that system level role for a second. The playlist creator, object level role, can manage things in the playlist. An artist or a publisher can manage things in the song. Basically, they can crud here, they can crud here. There's the idea of a playlist contributor, which is different. Let's say that Sophia is the playlist creator, and she's invited me to be a playlist contributor. She says, I've got this OUX playlist. I would love your help in adding some songs to it. So she adds song A, B, and C. I am allowed, because I've been given permission, to add songs D, E, and F. But let's say that I would like to remove a song from the playlist. And let's say that our business logic says, as a playlist contributor, I can only remove the songs that I added to it. So I have the remove song on song D, song E, and song F. However, I am not allowed to remove songs A, B, or C because those were added by somebody else. So this is an object level role. It's on playlist. This is an object level role. It's on song. This is a relationship level role. And it's on the object, which is songs, and the indirect object, which is playlist. That's the important thing here. I can only remove the songs that I added as a playlist contributor. That's the pitch here, that we need not just an object level role, but a relationship level role as well. Let's assume that you agree. So how would we do something like this in the ORCA Hub with relationship level roles? Well, I did a little bit of work to the ORCA Hub 2.1 to retrofit this in. So the first thing that I did, and I used this case here, article and comment, which is called post and comment. This is part of the tree doctor example that is in there that Sophia created. So the first thing that I did is I went to the nom, and I just made sure that there was this worked both ways. So not all of this was in here. I think I had to add this parent one. So a comment has one parent post, and a post has 0 to many comments on that post. Okay, that's just some housekeeping I had to do. What I then did is I made sure that the attributes were connected to the roles. So an attribute can have a relationship relative role, and a role can have a relationship parent. So I made sure that those two were connected. And I made sure that the CTAs were also connected. So an attribute can have CTAs attached to it, and a CTA can reference an indirect object. Now it's funny, the indirect object in this case is the parent object. It's not the embedded object, but we'll get into that in a second. It's the same thing that we talked about here. I am removing songs, the direct object, from the playlist, the indirect object, if I am a playlist contributor. And I can only remove my songs, not all songs from the playlist. So lastly, I made sure that the level of specificity that's on the CTA object, I know that's confusing, and this is where it gets a little meta, says also you can be relationship relative. So that means that it not only requires the object, but also the indirect object. So, okay, enough of the setup here. Let me show you how this all looks in my little prototype. Okay, so here's the ORCA Hub 2.1 with my prototype ideas for what relationship relative roles might look like in here. Okay, so everything, we already talked about the structural changes I made to this, but let me just show you as you work on this thing, what you would be doing. So in the CTAs, we go to roles first of all, and the role, same thing that happens here. The role is either a system level role, an object relative role, or as you can see here, I have the comment editor. That is a relationship relative role. You put the object parent in. So this is on post, and then we see what the object parent's phase is. And if it's a relationship relative role, you also have to put the relationship parent, otherwise known as what is the attribute, the relationship attribute that this thing is attached to. How do we know what the direct object is that is being manipulated, where the object parent is the indirect object? So that has 0 to m comments on this post. And we can see also the phasing for that relationship parent as well. So while a post is phase 1, because this refers to comments, that's phase 2. So this would be something for phase 2. This is how the roles, relationship relative roles would lay out. So going to the CTA matrix then, you have the various roles here. Let's go down to the relationship relative role, which is comment editor. I didn't do the whole thing. And like I said, they can only do one thing. They can look at the comments and they can flag them. Because they are not the comment owner, nor are they the post owner. They're kind of they're not the administrator, right? They're not a system level role. They only have scope within this object space, or this object and indirect object space. This flag comment then shows who are the roles that can do that. I actually said the post creator can flag comments as well, so you don't have to just limit it to one. So these are all the roles that can do it. And you can start seeing that, like, here are the role phases, here's the object phase, and we connect here to the indirect object here. So that's the big pitch here. And I'm wondering what you think, and if there's anything that could be better served by this, or if this is all just a little too heady for y'all. I'm open to any type of feedback. Thanks. Be well. Take care. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.